No more excuses, Georgia. You you won the East like 3 years in a row. You won the SEC one time. You mean to tell me your ceiling is the SEC title game and that's it? No, no. Georgia, you got to go further. And there's no excuses why you can't do that in 2021 with Kirby Smart as the head coach. Let's go. Hey, what's going on, everybody? Christian Ballard here with Ballard Sports Media, coming at you with a quick video today. I say quick, I don't know how long this is going to take. Talking the Georgia Bulldogs for the 2021 college football season. I already did my schedule preview. I could see them running the table, going 12-0, beating Clemson week 1, taking care of business the rest of the way, right? Again, I've just mentioned season opener against Clemson. They expect a full stadium in Charlotte, North Carolina. They just announced, I think this morning, that they were going to fill the stadiums up for that game. It's going to be a heck of a game. We're looking forward to it. Now, getting back to UGA and UGA only in this video. Kirby Smart, great head coach. Coaching at his alma mater. He played defensive back. A very good defensive-minded head coach, right? He was behind, well, part of those championships that Nick Saban had in his early career at Alabama, going back to 09, 2011, 2012, his last year in 2015. What a season that was, huh? Lose to Ole Miss, run the table, Derrick Henry, Heisman. Anyway, getting back to Georgia, this has got to be the year for Kirby Smart. He's been the head coach since 2016, But in his second year, and obviously you'd have to give credit to Mark Richt for at least the recruiting standpoint. Georgia was recruiting pretty well. He had some good players in there, right? And Kirby just figured it out right then and there. In year 2, not only did he make the college football playoff with Georgia, Joker took him to the national championship in Atlanta. Played to overtime, only lost by 3 to Alabama. We know the whole 2nd and 26 thing. Lost in overtime. In 5 seasons, Kirby Smart has compiled a total record of 52 and 14. 5 seasons, only 14 losses. That's not bad. That's really, really good. In his 5 seasons, he won the SEC East 3 times. 17, 18, and 19. 3 straight years. Obviously, last year we know what happened with Cal Trask and Pitts and that Florida offense. Heck of an offense. What Dan Mullen was able to put together. It's on the hot seat. And they have not won the SEC since 2017. They haven't made the playoffs since that year, right? So what's going on with UGA, right? You can't sit there, Georgia, Kirby Smart, and Georgia fans, and I'll joke around a little bit, but because of what the situation is, you can't possibly sit there and say, oh, well, our ceiling is, what we hit each year, whatever Kirby does. No, your ceiling is winning your division at the very least. At the least. Are they a national contender? I'm just going to say it. Yeah, Georgia's a national contender. They recruit so well. They're a top 5 recruiting team every single year. They're right there with Alabama, with Clemson. You got Georgia, obviously, as I'm talking about now. Then you got some teams like Ohio State, Oklahoma, Notre Dame, maybe in there somewhere. I don't know. Then it just goes in whichever way it goes, right, with the other teams in college football and recruiting. So what's been the problem? Why have they only made the playoffs one time? If they get all these recruits, they recruit so well. But really, what's been the problem? And why could this year be different? Bama, as we know, just had that historic season last year. In a season of chaos, the Crimson Tide or the conference. In a season with the virus, Bama won 10 SEC games, an SEC championship, a Rose Bowl championship, and their 18th national, at least what we claim for the school, their 18th football championship. Right? I'm just going to be honest with you. I think the Bear has 6. Saban has his 6 at Bama, the 1 at LSU, for a total of 7. And then Jane Stallings with 1 extra for a total of 13. I count 13 for the school, honestly, by my actual knowledge. By my count, what I know to be facts. But anyways, we're talking about Georgia in this one, right? We just saw what Alabama did. Alabama is taking a step back. I think the offense is going to be great with Bryce Young. I really do. I don't think we'll be the team that we were last year, and I keep saying that. But getting back to Georgia, doesn't that open up room? Someone's got to win the SEC. Let's look at some stuff here. Kirby Smart. Been the head coach since 2016. He made the 2017-2018 National Championship. Of course, lost 26-23 in overtime. We remember second in 26. Within 5 seasons, Kirby Smart has had one of the best records in college football in his tenure. 52-14 record in only 5 seasons. That's good. And again, I mentioned he won the SEC East in 17, the only year where he ended up winning the SEC championship. He won it in 18 and he won it in 19. That's 3 straight years. Last year was Florida. It was just that year for Kyle Trask and Kyle Pitts and company and a great Gator offense. He has not won the SEC again since 2017. He also hasn't made it to the playoffs since then. And the problem isn't not so much Kirby Smart. Well, I guess it kind of is. The problem has been quarterback play. And I'll admit this. I know maybe I've said some things about Justin Fields like system quarterback. He didn't fit in at Georgia. It just didn't work. No, it's not that at all. I don't think Fields is a system quarterback. I think he's talented. I make jokes sometimes because, I got this comic in me. This comedy part of me. And I'll just poke fun a little bit. That's more so a jab at Kirby Smart if you think about it. It's not that Fields didn't fit the system. Kirby didn't give him much of a chance. So what does Fields do? He goes to Ohio State. Right? Goes to Ohio State, becomes a Heisman finalist like once or twice. A top 10 pick in this past year's draft. Goes to the Bears. Holy cow. Great. Shout out to Jeff Webster. Chicago man. That would have been their chance. I agree with my good friend Chess Hall. And again, shout out to all the Georgia fans that watch this channel. Great friends. Uncle Lou, go sub them up. Chess Hall, Big Dog Brett. I follow people like Dog Nation or whatever. I love all you guys. Jesse J, Kevin Cook. I could go on. There's a lot of you. Where was I? Justin Fields wasn't treated well. But we're not here to talk about that. We're here more so to talk about Kirby and just UGA in general. Last year, they finally figured it out at quarterback. They started this guy named Mailman Stetson Bennett, right? They started him for like the first week, or for like the first month, the first 4 games of the season. Finally, against Mississippi State, JT Daniels comes out, right? I don't have the actual score pulled up, but I know he did well, and he got the win. He got the win. They finally figured it out at quarterback. JT Daniels is the answer. Okay, he's the answer. Tell me something we don't know. What about the receiving core? They only lost 1 key guy. George Pickens is out, I think, with he had like a foot injury or a hamstring or something to his leg, right? That's going to hold him out this next season unless by some miracle something can happen within the next couple months. The problem has been the offense, especially at the quarterback position, right? Think about it. They have one of the most consistent defenses. So we know it's not that. Their secondary is great. Their defensive front is great. Kirby Smart's a defensive-minded coach, so you can't completely blame him, but you'd think he'd at least figure something out for the quarterbacks. He has had Mecole Hardman, Riley Ridley. Sorry to say that George Pickens is out. They got some guys this year, Kearis Jackson. They've had a running back named like DeAndre Swift or whatever. Remember Sony Michel, who's with the Patriots? Nick Chubb, who's one of the top backs right now in the NFL? He was Georgia. They have had the weapons on offense. But the guy leading the offense at quarterback has been the problem. It was Fromm. Then last year, and I guarantee you this. What was the final score of that Bama game last year? 41-24. Georgia led at the half, 24-20. I guarantee you, if JT had started that game, I think Bama still would have won. But I feel like instead of 41-20, maybe it could have been 41-38, and we could have had a closer game at Bryant-Denny, like maybe what we've seen with Bama and Georgia in a couple years prior to last season, my opinion. Right? So what's the problem with Georgia? Let's narrow this down. The problem has been the quarterback on the field and the offensive leadership. And the fact that Kirby cannot leave it alone. But he gave it to JT Daniels last year. Mississippi State was his first career start, at least for Georgia. And again, I do apologize. I probably could have got the stats, and I don't. But he balled out. I think maybe they won that game like 41-10 or something like that. I know they lit up Mississippi State, and they kept it rolling and rolling and rolling and rolling, and it's clicking. He's the answer now. He's going to be one of the top quarterbacks next season. And if he balls out, if he does better and better and better, he could be one of the top guys in the draft next year, I promise you, at least in quarterback terms. You got a great receiving core. Forget losing George Pickens. You bring back Kyrus Jackson, Dominic Blaylock, Demetrius Robinson, Jermaine Burton, Adonis Mitchell, Eric Gilbert, who transferred from LSU, and they just picked up. He's a tight end, Eric Gilbert. Darnell Washington is a heck of a tight end. He's the key guy. Really fast, good athletic size, right? Then you look at the defense. Jordan Davis comes back. Strong defensive tackle they need on the line. And a key pickup they just got today. I just read this before while I was putting my notes together. Transfer from Clemson, a safety, Darian Kendrick, who was a key guy at Clemson. Really good player. It's a good player. It's Clemson. They just picked him up today. You can't tell me, based on who they have coming back, and the fact that they're still picking up guys from the transfer portal, that Georgia can't build a championship type of team next year. At the very least, do they need to win the Natty next year? Does it have to be 2021? I don't think it has to be, because they're just going to keep recruiting and recruiting. They're starting to become like Bama. I'm just going to admit that, right? Kirby Smart came from Nick Saban. Nick Saban built Kirby Smart. Helped him have the mindset that he does, that he has this winning mentality. That he wants to win the SEC. He wants to go win bowl games. He wants to win championships. And he's been recruiting in the top 5 ever since he's gotten there. This is it right here. Do they have to win a Natty this year? You don't have to. But this is probably your best chance, because once JT Daniels is gone, JT Daniels is gone. Don't give me this, so we got Brock Vandagriff coming. I mean, yeah. But what if we find out that maybe Kirby hasn't figured it out at quarterback? And that is JT Daniels. Then again, if you think about it, maybe Kirby keeps his hands off of it even after Daniels goes pro, and lets Brock Vandagriff, this 5-star phenom, who's supposed to light it up and have a strong arm and great mobility, just talented, pro-style type of quarterback that Georgia picked up. Then again, maybe he's the same way, right? This has to be it for Georgia. This has to be the year, right? You got all of these receiving weapons, and you got JT Daniels coming back, and you pick up a Clemson transfer on your defense. Clemson's had some pretty good defenses in past years. They haven't made the playoffs since 2017. This year will be 17, 18, 19, 4 years, I think. Yeah, 4 years. This that 2nd and 26. The heartbreak for the Dogs right there. They've been trying to get back. They want to beat Bama. I hate to admit it, but first off, one thing you got to do if you want to get anywhere near a championship, you got to take out the tide, especially if you're an SEC team like Georgia. If they meet up with Alabama and Atlanta, they have to beat Alabama if they want to make the playoffs. They got to win the SEC. And I'm biting my tongue, and I'm frustrated because I hate to admit it. But Georgia has to beat Alabama and Nick Saban. Nick Saban and Alabama will come out of the West next year. That's who you got to beat in Atlanta if you want to make the playoffs and even have a chance at a title. You have to do that. And this is where it bites me. Kirby Smart is in the best position of all of Saban's assistants to finally beat Nick Saban. He's in the best position to do it. I gotta admit that. No disrespect, no hatred. Nothing but love and respect for Georgia fans again. Big Dog Brett, Uncle Lou, Chess Hall, all of you guys, I love y'all. Nothing but love and respect. But Kirby's got to beat Saban. They got to get past Alabama. Is it going to be easy? Absolutely not. It's never easy to get past Bama. Is it possible this year? Absolutely. Bama's losing a lot. I don't care what they look like in this spring. I mean, I care. It looked great. It was only 13-10 anyway. The defense looked pretty stacked. I'm worried about Bama's offense. Not so much the defense. Defense is going to be stacked. I'm more so worried about the offense just a little bit. I know it won't. Bama is in a position too, and I'm trying to stick to Georgia as much as possible, but I'll just say this. Bama's in a position right now. They don't really need to prove anything. We know what they can do. Yeah, they got the phenom 5-star Bryce Young coming in. They got these receiver, that receiver, whatever the heck. But they lost a lot. I still believe they're taking a step back. And if a team like Bama takes a step back, some teams got to take a huge step forward to get past them a little bit. Bama's right here. Georgia's here. It's so close. Bama's taking a small step back, and Georgia's right there. They got to get here. You want to win a title? This has to be the year. This is your chance. Georgia, listen to me. You have to win a title at some point with Kirby. Don't give me this, oh, well, all he does is win the Division One, and then, all he does is make a bowl game. He's better than that. The problem has been the lack of leadership at the quarterback position, the lack of offensive control, or how Kirby handles it. The defense has been stacked, good, solid. You got that down. We're in an offensive era of football right now where we just need to throw the ball, and you just need the offenses, right? Georgia struggled with that a little bit. They had Stetson Bennett start out last year. He couldn't do anything. I guarantee you, and I said this a little earlier, I know, I'm telling you, JT Daniels had been in that Bama game, maybe y'all could have, kept on adding to the lead. Or you could have come back on Bama while they were putting 41 up on you. It's 24 points. You put him in, he could probably cut the deficit or something. I don't know. You got JT Daniels, Darnell Washington, one of the best returning tight ends next year, Jermaine Burton, Adonai Mitchell, Dominic Blaylock, Kieris Jackson, Demetrius Robinson. I saw these names last year. I know they're good. And this LSU transfer, Eric Gilbert, I've seen him play. He's pretty good. Great pass catching ability. And you got I mentioned the transfer from Clemson, Darian Kendrick. QB and offensive leadership has been the problem. The answer is JT Daniels and the receiving core you got coming back next year. And again, we're in a throwing offense era. You just got to throw the ball downfield. You got these receivers right here, right? I know it might seem like I'm going off on a rant. I'm really not. I'm locked in on this, man. I want to see Georgia win a title at some point. I would love to see that because I got a lot of love and respect for people like Uncle Lou and Chess Hall, my man Raj, Jesse J, Kevin Cook, Big Dog Brett. I could go down the list of all the Georgia fans that I know on here and that I got a lot of love and respect for. Y'all are good people and I love you. I love everybody. Georgia fans, Bama fans, even Auburn fans. I mean, respect. We're in the same state. We bump into each other at the store, whatever the heck. You gotta deal with it. This has got to be the year for Kirby Smart in Georgia, man. It has to be the year. Again, I mentioned 5 seasons he's been the head coach, 52-14 record. That's a really good record right there. I did not do the math on winning percentage there, but it's pretty darn good. I guarantee you, 52-14. Won the East 3 straight times. Last year was Florida. Florida's taking a step. The East is going to be down next year for the SEC. So winning the East is no problem for Georgia. But get to Atlanta. Face the Tide. Hope you can catch them napping a bit. Right? If JT and that receiving core is the answer, you got to be throwing the ball deep. I'm sure they definitely have it figured out by then. They probably have it figured out right then and there with Clemson. They had it figured out last season. Late last year. Get to the playoffs. Or win your division. Win the SEC. Get to the playoffs. In the semifinal. Make the national championship, Georgia. And boom, you got it. And if I recall, I think it's next year's championship's like Indianapolis, I think. I could be wrong on the location. But this has got to be the year for Georgia. It just has to. So anyway, y'all let me know in the comments section what you think. Is it time for Georgia and Kirby Smart to win a championship in the 2021-2022 college football season? I will leave it up to you. I think I got all the pieces. They just got to put it all together. They got to put it on the field, put it in play, put it in practice, and come together and play ball and play well. Focus on the process rather than the outcome, as Coach Saban says. Don't get sidetracked like we're going to make a natty, we're going to make a natty. Take it one step at a time, dogs, and y'all could win a championship. I'd love to see it. Only because of my man Chess Hall and Uncle Lou and all the you Georgia fans that I have a lot of love and respect for. Y'all are good people, and y'all deserve to see your team win a championship. And I hope it happens someday. Georgia's going to win it this year, but next year, this team's coming back. That team right there, yeah. I promise you. Anyway, that's it for this video. Thanks so much, everyone, for tuning in and watching. Let me know what you think Georgia's going to do next year. I already have them going 12-0. I did their preview a couple weeks ago. But this got to be the year for Kirby. This just has to. You have all the pieces together, put it in play on the field, and you can win football games. It's not, I'm not going to sit here and say it's that simple. I mean, what you have to do is that simple. How you're going to do it and what other teams are going to do against you, you'll find out when you play them. But I love you guys. Thanks so much for watching and tuning in today. Let me know what you think Georgia's going to do next year. Do you agree with what I said? Does it have to be this year for Georgia? Maybe it doesn't. But they can't lose 2 games like they did last year, man. They've come so far with the hype and everything this offseason to not at least get to Atlanta and challenge whoever comes out of the West, like Alabama or whoever it might be. So, anyway, I love you guys. Thanks, everyone, for tuning in today. Please like, comment, and subscribe right here to Ballard Sports Media for more sports content. And until next time, folks, Ballard Sports Media checking out. Y'all have a good one. Love you guys. Keep your head up. Jesus loves you. Remember that. Have an awesome day. God bless. Love you guys. Roll Tide, roll. Woo!